Hey everyone, welcome to Coaster Lab. Today we're going to be trying something a little bit different. We're going to be reviewing all the Superman roller coasters in the Six Flags chain. This is something I thought it's Saturday, Superman, both start with an S. We're just going to go ahead and jump right into it. So we're going to start from the East Coast all the way down to the West Coast, and so that leads us to Superman the Ride at Six Flags New England. This is a Intamin hyper coaster. I don't remember exactly how tall it is. Obviously it's over 200 feet. I was able to ride this back, I believe, in 2017. To me, it was actually really nice. I liked it. It was a little rattly. The trains could use maybe a little bit tune-up to make sure they don't shake so much. Well, other than that, the airtime was definitely, it's just fantastic. You get some floater on that little airtime hump right there, right before the large preceding or the airtime hump that follows it from there, and then you get your photo taken, and then you go all into these twisty sections. You go through the Superman shield, little arch things, the flybys, a lot of little near-miss elements that really make the ride. Unfortunately, with the transition from Bizarro back to Superman, they took away the fire, so you don't really have that anymore. Perhaps they could add some water or something like that, or some lights. But overall, it was a really good ride. Got a lot of near-miss elements. You got a couple of tunnels in there. You've got the little towns and metropolis little things, cutouts that used to be part of Bizarro, but they repainted them. Then you've got some nice airtime hills at the very end. But I think there's 3 of them, and then it's a nice hard right into the brakes. It's really forceful. It's a fun ride. Definitely suggested. Obviously, if you're at Six Flags New England and you don't ride it, then what the heck are you doing? So the next one that we're going to be moving on to is, I believe, at Six Flags over Georgia. This is the standard B&M flying coaster. Sorry, and it's pretty normal. You're gonna go up the hill. Then you're gonna then proceed into a right-hand turn all the way down the hill. I believe then you go into your pretzel loop. Is that pretzel loop? Yeah, there it is. And of course, those pretzel loops, if you've ever ridden one, they're super forceful. Tattoo, I think, has a slightly larger one, since it is one of the tallest flying coasters, the longest and largest. And yeah, other than that, it's got a nice meandering, flying layout to it. It's really enjoyable. I believe I've ridden the one at Great Adventure, but I have not ridden the one over Georgia. But they're the exact same thing, so it doesn't really matter. The next one we're going to move on to is Six Flags America, and that is Superman Ride of Steel. Now, there is another Ride of Steel that is at Darien Lake. It's just called Ride of Steel now, not Superman Ride of Steel. Since they don't have the rights, I'll presume they'll be transitioning that back to Superman Ride of Steel very soon, now that Six Flags has reacquired them. Got a lot of little airtime hills, the standard stuff. Not as eventful as the one at Six Flags in New England, but seems pretty enjoyable. You got 2 large helices. Or helixes, and then you've got the iconic straight sections of nothingness, where they could have put a little bit of an airtime hill, but they chose not to. Beats me as to why. Another Intamin coaster, I presume, pretty fun, maybe a little bit rattly, but other than that, a fun time. And we're moving on to Six Flags Great America. Again, another B&M flyer. Pretty much it's the exact same layout. You got a pretzel loop, and you got the turns, meandering, and then I believe you have a roll, a zero-G roll, or a heartline roll, and then into the brakes. It's a short ride. I don't know what happened though to why Six Flags just decided to stop, getting clones of B&M rides. I guess just expense. It's too much. But then we're going to be moving on to one of the most iconic ones, which is Superman Krypton Coaster at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas. Such an amazing ride. I actually have not ridden it because the last time I was at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas, I don't believe I was tall enough. So just to give you kind of perspective of how long it's been since I've been there, I really want to go back there and try when I get an eye around there, the original Batman the Ride, the original 40 free spin, and just take it all in. Because last time I was not able to ride it, I rolled the original Rattler, well, not the original, but what was there them at that time that I visited, and my mom and my sister ended up going to Cooper Coaster because I didn't. But yeah, it's your standard, well, not standard, I guess, because you've got the interaction with the quarry wall, because that's kind of like the big thing at Fiesta Texas, is that quarry wall. And then you got a lot of elements to interact with it. You get some near misses, the mid-course brake run is like right up against the quarry wall, and then you go into interlocking corkscrews, and that precedes the end of the ride. So a lot of like elements that you typically would find in a roller coaster, just adjusted for the layout there and the terrain at Six Flags Fiesta Texas. One of the last ones that we're going to look at is the Six Flags Mexico version, Superman El Último Escape at Six Flags Mexico. I believe this is a Morgan hypercoaster. I don't remember exactly. But yeah, it looks pretty forceful, which you would expect from probably Morgan. A lot of helixes, super forceful ride, I'm sure. And as I've heard, they don't even turn on the trim brakes, the mid-course brake, and you just fly on through it. They don't care. They're just gonna send it right through the entire course, and you're gonna get every force that you probably get from that thing. I'm sure it's an amazing ride. As I've heard from El Toro Ryan through his videos when he went to Six Flags in Mexico, like mid-course brake run, they don't even touch it. Just kind of like coast right through it, at least I think. And then you go into the final hills that you would normally find like a Morgan hypercoaster. So really just like honing in that airtime. Looks like a lot of fun. Then finally, or one of the last ones we have here is Six Flags Magic Mountain, Superman Escape from Krypton. It's your 104 mile per hour LSM, I believe, launch coaster into the vertical tower. One of the most iconic things about Six Flags Magic Mountain, and that deafening roar and screeching from it. It's absolutely loud. It's like a fighter jet passing. It's super loud. So if you hear it coming by, cover your ears. It's super loud. And then finally, at my home park, it's Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, we have Superman Ultimate Flight. This was the original Skyrocket 2 from Premier Rides, debuted back in 2012. Fun ride. My only gripe is that capacity leaves a lot to be desired. There's only one two-car train, so 12 people every 2 minutes. Yeah, it's kind of iffy. I try to get around 30 trains out each hour. I've seen that written on their little whiteboard in the back, but it's been experiencing a couple more problems. You usually shut this down. They just did a huge major refurbishment on it, and then it kind of had some problems from there. So you go back, forth, up the tower, through that super hang time roll, and then you go back down through a vertical drop, and then through the non-inverting loop, and then just back into the station. Very simple ride. It's meant to be kind of a budget coaster, a budget launch coaster, and it certainly has worked because a bunch of them have been sold, mostly to Busch Gardens, SeaWorld. You've got one at Lake Compounce, and a couple in different countries, and I'm sure there's going to be more of them premiering soon, pun intended. Yeah, so that is all the Superman rides or roller coasters at Six Flags. Now, I did skip over Six Flags St. Louis and Six Flags over Texas because, their Superman rides are drop towers, one from SNS and one from Intamin. It's not a coaster, obviously, so I'm not going to count it. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this kind of new kind of thing that I'm trying, definitely subscribe down below. We got more Batman the Ride construction updates from Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. If you're here from Parks Bros, we have more of those coming up. We got a lot of photos online on Instagram at coaster.labs. We post super real-time updates. As soon as we get photos, they're on there. We've been getting photos daily, or try to get them up daily. Right now, we also have a bit of a wager going on. As you know, West Coast Racers at Magic Mountain is it's taking a little bit longer than they probably would have anticipated. And right now, I have a little miniature rose bush outside of my house, and so I'm taking photos of it. And the wager is, if West Coast Racers goes vertical before that rose blooms and then it also wilts, basically dies, and I will pretend to like West Coast Racers for one day. So if you like that idea and you want to go see that, and you want to go see that progress on Batman the Ride to see this Plant win or West Coast Racers win, definitely go check that out online and subscribe down below before you guys leave. Leave a comment. Which Superman ride do you like better? What's your least favorite Superman ride? Which ones have you ridden? All that stuff down below in the comments. So thank you guys so much for watching, and welcome to Coaster Labs, and we'll see you next time. Bye.